Hello, my name is Bose Ojubo. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Amazing Grace with Bose. If this is your first time on this channel, welcome, and make sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, okay? And join the amazing family. And to you, my subscribers, thank you for your love and support. It means so much to me. Are you one of those who struggle to set boundaries? If you are, know that you're not alone. Today, I will focus on the need to set healthy boundaries with your loved ones and everybody in your life, and why you must stop pleasing people at your expense. When we say boundaries, what do we mean? Well, it's the limits we set around what we will or will not tolerate or accept. Boundaries shows self-respect for ourselves and for others. It keeps us safe and tells people our expectations. I have personally struggled with setting boundaries and have over the years allowed some values that I hold dearly to slide because I wanted to be nice and keep the peace. And of course, you don't want to rock the boats. But as you get older, you realize that sometimes it's better to rock the boats and deal with the issues once and for all. It's not easy to set boundaries. It is sometimes difficult and painful to do, and even harder to enforce when people cross it, because it may lead to the end of relationships or may strain relationship. But you know something? It's better to set the limits early, especially if it touches on your core values. Otherwise, it will come back to haunt you. So, what's your story? Do you sometimes allow people to step on your toes and get away with arrant nonsense because of fear of conflicts, rejection, and guilt? Or are you that person who will say, for peace sake, let me say yes. Meanwhile, you are hurting and really want to say no? Or are you that person that can say, bros, sis, abeg, no vessel, I no go fit, I no go agree, and you can stand your ground, gidigba, and say, let the heavens fall. This I will not tolerate. This I will not allow. It goes against my core values, my beliefs, and everything I stand for. Which one are you? Well, while you're thinking about it, let me share with you two of the signs you may experience to make you know that, it's time to set some boundaries. 1, if you feel sick to your stomach and have this depressing feeling and frustration dealing with some people, then you know it's time to save yourself and put some boundaries in place. 2, if you are afraid or fear rejection, and instead of saying no to something, you find yourself saying yes and agreeing to rubbish nonsense, then you know it's time to set boundaries. Now, the absence of boundaries, will give people the liberty to treat you as they like. And this will often cause anger and resentment. You will just be vexing. But guess what? It's never too late to set boundaries. There's a saying where I come from. I am an Ishan girl. It says, Ege noria na riore. Oye ose we. Meaning, when you wake up, it's your morning. Setting boundaries can make you anxious, either at the beginning of any relationship or friendship, or when you realize that people are messing up with you. Even the thoughts that you want to set boundaries can be frightening and may make you very worried. Set the boundaries anyway. You can always modify, amend, and adjust them as you grow and evolve so that it's a true expression of who you really are and what you stand for. Now, how do you set boundaries and maintain it? One sure way of setting boundaries is to identify your core values, your beliefs. What are the things that are of utmost importance to you? What are the things you cannot compromise? Once you are able to identify your core values, then you'll be able to set boundaries around protecting it. 2, be ready to speak up. If you want to set boundaries, you must have the courage to speak up firmly but respectfully. Articulate your boundaries. Let the people around you know they are not mind readers. You may have to repeat yourself with regard to the boundary you have set, because sometimes people think you are joking and they take it for granted and say, your own is too much self-waiting. Hold your ground. This is difficult to do, but that is where the real tests comes in. If you set boundaries and nobody respects it, it's as good as not having one anyway. So you must be firm. Hold your ground. It's difficult, no doubt, but it's up to you how you manage it. 4, be ready to enforce when people cross the line. No doubt, some people will deliberately cross the line and push your buttons to test you. When that happens, you must enforce. It's easier said than done, but remember that once someone succeeds in undermining you the first time and they get away with it, it will never stop. So, enforce if you can. It's hard, especially if emotions are involved. But if they value the relationship, they will conform and respect your boundary. It's not easy, like I've said before, to set boundaries. And most times when we do, we don't follow through. And when you don't follow through, people will start to take you for granted. So the key is to set realistic boundaries. And if there's need to adjust it depending on how you have evolved, then you must be open to it. That way, you are not overly rigid, such that you scare people away and end valuable relationships. Neither do you want it to be so porous that you become a doormat and allow people to walk over you. The problem with people taking advantage of you or pleasing people at your expense is that it makes you miserable, and that can lead to hopelessness. Setting boundaries is therefore very important for your mental well-being. It can save your life. Nobody should tell you what your boundaries should be. It's your life. You make the rules and you set the limits. Boundaries are not threats. It's a kind request to say, this is what I will allow and this is what I will not allow. You should also be ready to forgive and forget and give people a second chance sometimes, especially if it's a boundary that was not clearly stated, or if you're sure they are now ready to honor and respect your boundaries. Finally, note that when you say no to someone or something, you are actually saying yes to yourself. You should not feel bad about it, even if it hurts. If anything, you should feel good because it's proof that you are beginning to love, honor, and value yourself as a human being. So, do not ever diminish yourself to the point of depression to please anybody. So, what are your thoughts about setting and enforcing boundaries? Is it something you struggle with? Share your feedback in the comment section and please like, share, and subscribe. That's our show for today. Thank you for watching. Until I come your way again, remember that it's never too late to set boundaries. Bye-bye.